Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Sparkle and Shine, your go-to podcast for all the best tips, tricks, and hacks for keeping your home clean and oh so fresh. Brought to you by JP Carpet Cleaning Expert Floor Care. I'm your host, Layla, and today we're talking about one of my absolute favorite topics, hardwood floors. Oh yeah, we're going there. The elegance, the beauty, the timeless charm of hardwood floors, they're gorgeous, right? But maintaining them? Well, let's just say it's a bit trickier than just running a mop over them. If you're lucky enough to have hardwood floors in your home, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And with so many vinyl and laminate options out there these days, having genuine hardwood is like owning a little piece of home luxury. It's glamorous, it's beautiful. You want to make sure you're taking care of them properly, and that's exactly what we'll be covering today. So, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's talk about how to keep those beautiful hardwood floors shining. All right, let's dive right into it. The first thing we need to talk about is something that a lot of people don't realize when they get hardwood floors. The tools you use are everything. And let me tell you, folks, using the wrong tool on your hardwood floors is like trying to brush your hair with a fork. Sure, you can technically do it, but it's not going to look very good afterwards. Now, let's start with one simple rule. Ditch the vacuum with the spinning brushes. I know, vacuums make cleaning feel so efficient. You zip around the room, sucking up dust and dirt, feeling like a cleaning superhero. But for hardwood floors, you might actually be doing more harm than good. Those rotating brushes on your vacuum, they can leave scratches, and trust me, no one wants little scratches all over their beautiful floors. It's like giving your floor tiny little battle scars for no reason. So what should you use instead? One of the best tools out there is a microfiber mop. Oh yes, good old microfiber to the rescue. Why? Because it's gentle. And here's the cool part. The microfiber actually uses electrostatic action to attract dust, dirt, and allergens like a magnet. That dust doesn't stand a chance. It's kind of like magic, just without a wand. Plus, the pads are machine washable, so once you're done, just pop them in the wash and boom, you're ready to go for your next cleaning adventure. Easy, right? Let me tell you a funny story. One time, I thought I'd be smart and use one of those cheap brooms to quickly clean up. You know the kind, the ones that you get for like $5 at the store. And what did I do? I just moved the dust from one side of the room to the other. I was like, oh, perfect. Now the left side of the room is clean, but the right side? Disaster. Brooms just don't cut it, folks. Trust me on this one. Okay, so the next tip is a biggie. A lot of you out there might be tempted to use DIY cleaning solutions for your hardwood floors. And I get it. Pinterest and YouTube are all full of these magic cleaning hacks that seem cheap and efficient and easy. Vinegar and water, right? Sounds harmless. Vinegar is natural, it's inexpensive, and we use it to clean just about everything else in our homes. But here's the thing. Vinegar and hardwood floors do not mix. Nope. If vinegar touches your hardwood floor finish, it's going to dull that beautiful shine. And over time, vinegar can actually start to break down the finish. Yikes, right? It's like thinking you're giving your floors a spa treatment, when really, you're just rubbing sandpaper on them. So let's leave the vinegar for the salad dressing and stick with products that are made specifically for hardwood floor care. You wouldn't want to wash your hair with dish soap, would you? Okay, well, maybe in college you did when you were out of shampoo, but now we're adults, we know better. It's the same thing with your floors. Use the right cleaner. All right, now for all you high heel lovers out there, this next tip might sting a little. It definitely stung me just a bit. Hardwood floors, as tough as they look, can actually be pretty sensitive. If you've ever tried walking across the floor in stilettos, you might have noticed there's a little bit of, shall we say, damage happening underneath your feet. You can't see it immediately, but over time, those little dents and dings start to add up. So maybe, just maybe, we make our homes a stiletto-free zone. Or at least put those little felt pads under your furniture, because sliding a chair across a hardwood floor is basically like running a rake across it. I learned this the hard way when I was rearranging my living room. I thought, I'll just scoot this couch over a little. Well, next thing I knew, I had a nice long scratch all the way across the floor. Let's just say I spent the next half hour frantically trying to buff it out with my socks before my parents got home. Pro tip, socks aren't buffing tools. Here's another thing to watch out for. Those products marketed as polishes. I know, polished floors are so shiny and beautiful, and we all want that showroom floor look in our homes. It's so glamorous and elegant. But here's the catch. Many of those polishes require you to remove the old layers before applying a new one. And if you skip that step, guess what? You're sealing in all the dust and grime from the old layer. Gross, right? So read the label carefully. Don't just slather on layer after layer thinking you're making your floors look better. You might just be creating a waxy buildup of, well, dirt. Now, here's the thing. There's only so much you can do on your own when it comes to caring for hardwood floors. You can mop, dust, and polish to your heart's content. But at the end of the day, you're going to need a professional deep cleaning at least once a year. And let me tell you why. It's not just about keeping them shiny. It's about getting all the dirt and grime that's buried deep in the crevices. That stuff you just can't reach no matter how hard you try. Bringing in professionals like our friends at JP Carpet Cleaning Expert Floor Care can make all the difference. They've got the tools, the expertise, and the know-how to really give your floors the TLC they need. And let's be real, sometimes it's nice to leave the hard work to the pros, am I right? Plus, if you're like me, you'll use that time to binge watch a new show guilt-free while someone else does the heavy lifting. That's a win-win. Now, before we wrap up, let's get into some common questions I hear all the time about hardwood floors. I know a lot of you out there have burning questions, so let's dive into those now. Question 1, can I use a steam mop on my hardwood floors? The old steam mop debate. Here's the deal. No. You really shouldn't use a steam mop on hardwood floors. I know they're convenient, kind of like the vacuum, but the heat and moisture can actually cause the wood to swell, warp, and eventually crack over time. Hardwood doesn't love moisture, so it's better to stick to a microfiber mop and a cleaner made specifically for hardwood floors. Question 2. What's the best way to prevent scratches? Now, this is a great question. One of the best ways to prevent scratches is by using felt pads under the legs of your furniture. The felt pads will protect the floor as you move the furniture around. Also, make sure to lift the furniture when moving it instead of dragging it across the floor. That makes a huge difference as well. And as I mentioned earlier, high heels can be a culprit, so maybe swap them out for comfy socks or slippers when you're at home. Plus, who doesn't love getting cozy in some fuzzy socks? Question 3. How often should I clean my hardwood floors? Well, this one depends on the traffic in your home, but generally sweeping, it's a good idea to sweep or dust your floors at least once a week. For deeper cleans, you should mop with a hardwood safe cleaner every month or 2, depending on how much foot traffic you're dealing with. If you refer to one of our previous episodes, we did actually provide a guide for the best hardwood floor cleaners based on our own trials that we would recommend for use in your house. That's a pretty good starting point when you're trying to find hardwood safe cleaners. So that's regular cleaning that you do yourself. Now, we did already mention if you want to go with professional cleaning, you want to do professional wood floor cleaning at least once a year. If you're going to do a refresher, which is where we lightly buff the polyurethane or the sealer on your hardwood floors, you would do that every 2 to 5 years. And for a full refinishing, which would remove the entire top layer, allow you to change the color if you want, it changes your wood floor and gives you the opportunity to really make the wood floor your own, or match it to your new style, or however your style has changed. That would be recommended every 7 to 10 years, if it's needed. Typically, by doing a regular maintenance with the scrubbing option I mentioned, you can actually avoid refinishing almost completely. And the fourth question is kind of a good segue into it. Can I refinish my hardwood floors on my own? This one's a little tricky. While it's technically possible to refinish your floors yourself, there are tons of YouTube videos on how to do it. It's a pretty labor-intensive and complicated process. You need to sand the floors down, apply a new stain, and then seal it properly. So unless you're super confident in your DIY skills, I'd recommend calling in the pros for this one. It's a bit too easy to mess up, and you really don't want to damage those beautiful floors. So, there you have it, your ultimate guide to keeping those hardwood floors sparkling and beautiful, plus a few FAQs to clear things up. Remember, it's all about using the right tools, avoiding those tempting DIY shortcuts, treading lightly, and giving your floors the professional treatment they deserve every now and then. I hope these tips help keep your home looking as fresh and fabulous as you are. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and tell your friends to tune in. And as always, if you have any questions or tips of your own, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Layla reminding you to keep things clean, fresh, and always shining bright. Stay sparkling, everyone.